Good evening. We are here. 8:13 is the time in the studios of Q95 FM radio. And we are here for another In the Spotlight radio show. Of course, we've had previous guests starting off the year with Simeon Joseph, we had Tamara Lowe, we had Ken Richards, and last week we had J.L. Joseph. And tonight we are set for another amazing In the Spotlight radio show. Welcome all, welcome to all our listeners and all the viewers of the program tonight, wherever you are, near or far. We are coming to you live on our official In the Spotlight radio show page. So if you're looking for it, it's In the Spotlight radio show. So look out for that. We are all set and ready to roll. Those of you who are not yet a fan of our group, please become a fan. Look for the In the Spotlight, the ITS radio show fans group. Make sure that you follow our In the Spotlight radio show page as well. We'll be happy to have you on there. And any of our other platforms, we invite you to join us there. Thank you to those of you who've been providing some support to the show via our Cash App, Spotlighters. We appreciate it. If you wish to make contact as to how you can make a contribution, you can just reach out at 275-7565. Now, people normally mix up that number with my regular number, but this number is, they're very close. It's just one number different, but that number is the one that you can make contact for anything to do with the show. And tonight, if you feel like WhatsApping during the show, that is the number as well that you utilize to WhatsApp. That's 275-7565. Thank you to Q95 for allowing us to be here on a Monday night. Thank you to Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited for our Topito water. And I know I have to give my guest a moment just to big up his sponsor. He's an ambassador for Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, more so Topito water. So we know that we'll give him a chance to do that. It's the least we can do, right? We thank Jordan Jerome, GK, Akim Lowe, Dominica News Online, the fans, the viewers, the listeners, the likers, the lovers of the show. We are happy to be here for another In the Spotlight radio show program tonight. Our guest tonight is none other, oh boy, I don't even know the descriptive terms to use for this young man. His name is Asa Bantan Edwards, and he is in the studios of Q95. I'm just going to allow him to say goodnight, big up his sponsor, say hello to everyone. And then we'll come back across here. Asa, my dear friend, good evening to you.
Good evening, Fedina Bantan, and good evening to all the listeners of In the Spotlight. I'm here, friends.
You are
I'm
here.
Finally here.
And this time the voice is perfect.
Oh yes, perfect. we
have no issues, we have no challenges. We are ready to roll with Asa Bantan tonight. So, your fans.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just want to big up all my fans and them. You don't know. Big up my sponsors. You know, Topito water is right here with us. You know, want to say good night to my mother, my father. You know, close family, and you know all the Asa Bantan fans and all the people that have been supporting me throughout that journey.
And we have so much to talk about.
Oh yes.
Tonight, Asa. I'm going to start off with something that we're not going to talk much yet. I'm going to start off with something, and I hope people are already tuned in. I mean, I'll do it probably a little later on in the show. But Asa, I have no other choice but to start off with this tonight because of the season that we're in.
Good evening to Ferdinand, good evening Asa, and good evening to the listeners of the In the Spotlight show. So what is it can be said about Asa Bantan? Let me start by saying that Asa has always been an entertainer. We shared some of our high school days together, and it was always an excitement, it was always an enthusiasm whenever we were having something in the auditorium and Asa Bantan is performing. Like, the students looked forward to it, even the teachers looked forward to his performances. Asa is not only a great entertainer, Asa is also known as a cricketer. He played for Dominica on the national team. He is part of leading to Dominica to victory in whichever cricket team he has been in. But his passion for music didn't go away. And when Asa was afforded the opportunity overseas to expand on his music, to take his music out in the Caribbean, he took that opportunity. And lo and behold, he had to choose. Do I continue cricket or am I an entertainer? And he chose to be an entertainer, even though he was a really, really good cricket player. Asa was able to start his music, get his music out there for St. Martin, for Guadeloupe, of course in Dominica, and people started to wonder, who is that? I mean, we knew who he was. We knew that was Asa Bantan from Ghana. We were accustomed to his lyrical styles and his presentations while at school. But the wider part of Dominica and select places in the Caribbean wanted to know who he is. And of course they found out who he is. Not only could he put together his lyrics, making him known as a lyrical genius, but he was able to perform. He was able to go to different places and represent himself and his music. His music is something you can familiarize yourself with. It has to do with elements of what is happening in society. So people were always, or are always, able to catch up and understand what he's saying when he's singing, when he's performing. The good thing about Asa is he never forgets home. He always comes back to Dominica, always speaks of Dominica, and he never forgets Granby, where he was born and raised. And that is one of the key ingredients, I believe, in he being successful, and we'll hear a little bit more about that tonight. I recall many years ago when Natalie Clark was the executive director, and Wadix was very involved in the implementation of the World Prayer Music Festival. The name Asa Bantan came up. And of course, with every other artist on the lineup, you have to justify why is it that you think that he's going to add value to the World Prayer Music Festival lineup. I mean, he was young, so there was a lot of questions, as to whether he's capable. But he was added to the lineup. I personally was excited. I personally was eager to have him on the lineup, and we knew that he was going to make the event proud. And for that, as you know, lo and behold, Asa performed that night, and Asa has continued to perform at the World Prayer Music Festival ever since. And the unique thing about our local artists is that they put a lot of effort in their performances at the World Prayer Music Festival, and Asa is one of those who who, yes, performance money is important, but he doesn't only dwell on the money. He gets excited about the performance itself. And he always wants to do well, he always wants to make a mark, and his performances has added a unique flavor and ingredient to our World Prayer Music Festival. And in one year, we recall he came out from a Domlek truck. One year, he came out of a coffin. I mean, he's had amazing dancers. We recall his crazy dance on top of the stadium one year. And let's not forget the 2019 World Prayer Music Festival performance where Asa showed he's affirmed that he's a bouillon boss by coming out on a horse. And just to let you guys know, whenever Asa has to do a performance, especially at the World Prayer Music Festival, he always has to have a listening ear. So he comes and he wants to make sure that it's okay, it's great, it's amazing. You know, and I recall for that performance, because some of his past performances raised a little bit of concern, he came for that performance and he wanted to make sure he's doing things right. You know, so we involved all the key players, select individuals from the team knew what he was going to do, so we were prepared in all our venues. So Dinah, listeners, you would not believe tears came out of my eyes that night because I was so scared, because I knew the performance schedule, I knew the timing he had to come out, and that horse wasn't about to move backstage. But I guess he'll tell you about that. I'm just scared, getting a heart attack, but it came through, and that performance was amazing, and that is Asa. He has to add that unique flavor to whatever he's doing. And Asa's unique flavor is not only part of his performances. We've seen how he's been able to give back, you know, for the snack program with the students. I mean, having a snack a day can play such an important role in a child having to do an exam, and doing that exam well because they do not have to worry about food. The way he takes care of the elderly, you know, the things he would do on select days like Mother's Day and Christmas Day. And I recall during the pandemic when everybody was stressed, he was able to put together a major sports activity that brought a little excitement and comfort to people not only in Grand Bay but in other areas in Dominica, and that is Asa. He is very innovative, he's unique. His uniqueness and innovativeness is shown in the recent Change for Change program. Again, an amazing program. Let's all show our support that will see somebody or individuals in our society who are not capable. At least it will give them a little strength to be able to move forward and do something for their future. And I mean, that is who Asa is. He's been able to make himself relevant even amidst the pandemic. He's known as the bouillon boss, the wet fed king. I mean, he's called the lyrical genius, and he just has a passion for what he does. So I mean, people who are listening now will know that Asa and I, we were not always so close. I mean, in our younger days, we experienced our difficulty, and we've gone past that, you know, and I'm so happy for the content of our relationship now. I'm happy to be a listening ear when he has an idea, when he's talking about his performances, when he knows how to handle a particular situation, when he has to do traveling, when it comes to certain things with his contract. I mean, I was so excited to write his bio for the Creole Heartbeat magazine about a year ago. So we've gotten on that level, and I want to tell Dominicans, you know, continue to give the support. Asa, continue to be an angel to Dominica through what you do, not only for your music, but for understanding your social responsibility to society. I hope that you continue to progress, and I would like to see you take an artist on your wing and afford them the similar opportunities that you've been afforded. And I know, Issa, that one of your dreams, one of your goals is to perform in the African continent. And I strongly believe that this is going to become a reality. So, on behalf of myself, on behalf of Dominicans, on behalf of the entertainment industry, we just want to tell you thank you so much for being who you are, and keep pushing, keep moving.
You're getting a feel of the diversity of Asa Bantan. The type of diversity that you just heard Marva. Marva is the events manager at the Dominica Festivals Committee. And I think Marva just put almost everything about you, Asa, in a nutshell. We're going to expound on quite a bit of it. But hearing Marva tonight, how did that make you feel?
I really wasn't expecting that phrase. That one hold me,
There's a couple more to go.
Serious? That one hold me, but I like, Marva looked like she was leaving with me, man. But trust me, Marva give all you, I would say 98% of Asa Bantan documentary, But we will elaborate on that more.
Definitely,
but let me tell you,
quite a bit of
but Marva, thank you, Marva. Marva is a great friend. Me and Marva go way back, way back. From high school days. I should tell you, we was a little at odds. But that's my girl. I always, go to Marva. If I have an idea, Marva is the type of person that will listen, and Marva doesn't failure, Marva, not in that. We have to execute, And as you could see, the 2019 World Creole Music Festival.
What happened to the horse?
26,000 people Marva bring inside there, 26,000 people. Let me tell that horse story, please. I like to tell people tonight going to be different. Tonight is all about excitement, information, laughter in one night.
Yes.
First, that horse story. Can you believe? If I tell you I never ride a horse before, you wouldn't believe me.
What you going to get a horse for?
I'm very creative. I always thinking out of the box. I'm not the type, you just perform for money. You have to give the people their money worth.
Correct.
And then the money you get in, you have to invest it, so we don't just take the money, we invest that money back into the performances.
And that is important, Asa. And if you noticed, Marva did mention that, yes, a performer is interested in the money, but in your case, yes, you want to get paid, but at the same time, you invest it a piece, at least maybe a quarter.
Yeah, sometimes, let's say we get $1, no, I invest 50 cents back into them, and then we have to outshine them foreign artists that come in home, let them know this is Dominica. You understand? So
this is what Dominicans do.
And this is what Dominicans do, because when I met Kes on the Uber Soca, Kes was like stunned. Kes like, he saw 1,000 napkins in the sky, and he's like, he don't know who could perform after that. And the only person that could maybe perform after that was the person that performed after that was Marshall.
Okay.
Because he said, he really gave me my flowers, gave me my props, and saying how he was, happy and surprised and that type of vibes. But that horse story, I tell you, I never ride a horse before.
Right.
But I say I have to think out of the box, And I usually come from the air. Last time I came from the air, I come on from the stage, in a coffin, and I say, you know what? A lot of people are gonna be looking for me up, maybe on stage, or I'm gonna come from the back, But the security, they had a little concern, is insurance, this, that, when I crazy, my crazy dancers and my
Did
crazy.
you have to sign something?
Not really, but that time, like that is your Marva coming in.
Yes.
So I bring the idea to Marva, and then Marva will tell me, okay, you can do this, you can do that. No, I say, no, we have to make it work. Then Marva get all the things in place, security, make sure she get the security in front and to guide the people, the fire, to to alert the people Asa is coming and so on. And let me tell you, I went Portsmouth one day, I take a little ride, couple hours ride. The lady telling me, you have to take your foot and pass it on the horse belly to make the horse. You have to pass your foot on the horse belly to make the horse calm down. If you see the, I said, in a festival, and you don't have time for calm down if something go wrong. So when you watch my time come, I backstage, I ready to go, I dress up and and my outfit was blue and red with a hand and said unity. But it's about that, so we rolling.
That's right.
And when I jump on the horse, ready to go, I hear the DJ calling my name on stage, Mystic, big up yourself. And I bring in a fake Asa Bantan on stage, and everybody thought that was me, and then boom, that is not Asa, so it is not Asa, then where is Asa? And when you look at it, boom, I ready to go down, the man saying, DJ Mystic saying, come into the Asa. No, I have to come. And then now when I jump on the horse, you hear the horse not moving. The horse not moving, not for nothing, the horse moving. Anyway, the horse start to move a little. I said, okay, we going. When the horse reach on the grass, the horse see the people. Because the horse not see them people,
Yes.
The horse start to reverse. The horse start to reverse. No, we stick that calling me about 50 seconds down, 40 seconds with a minute, no answer. Now I have to make a decision fast. He said, what you gonna do?
Oh my.
I said, well, I have to jump on the horse and run and run to the stage to get the mic. But it's like a blessed man.
That's right.
Go tell the horse, let's go, move it. I just see the horse start to move.
So you didn't use your foot and rub the stomach?
I try all that. I tell the horse, please. I tell the horse, don't do me that. I tell you, don't do me that. No, it's not the time for that. I tell you, no, it's not the time for that. And the horse, finally the horse start to move. And when we get into the park, everything just go smooth. And people could not believe, I actually see a lady crying, After I on the horse. And I said, oh, that is why them kings and them don't want to give up power. That is why them kings in the Middle East, they love the movie. You don't see them with the sword and thing. Because when you're on the horse and you see the people and the cameras and the light and fire, and I see people crying, say, oh, on the horse going and I hear the people actually say, he come on that horse.
But it's really nice to hear, the stories that happen behind the scenes.
Oh, yes.
Not even me, I don't think we ever spoke about that.
No, we never spoke about that.
So the first I heard about that was when Marva actually sent me the voice notes.
Yes,
I was saying, are you serious?
And that is something I want to do, on my YouTube page.
Yes, yes.
I'm
You
going
must
forward.
some of us behind the scenes.
Do some vlogs
Yes.
behind the scenes, what happened,
Yes.
behind the scenes and so on. Just like you as Marva, I just hear Marva say about people when I just started, well, I started a long time, maybe since 2000 I started.
Okay, guys,
but
pay attention to that story.
Going up in 2010, 11 there, Asa starting to burst the scene and people asking, who is that? Who is that person? And the boy bad and the boy this and the boy have lyrics and one of my friend, my neighbors, we grew up together, tell Ferdinand, well, them time they have Carol in the park and things. If you don't realize he's a big boss and one of the top selectors that like the West Indies team, but are the top selectors on the selection panel. And they say, Asa, they tell Ferdinand, you must bring Asa for Creole in the park. And Ferdinand say, who is Asa Bantan?
So now, again, I have to defend myself.
She said, who is it? She said, who is Asa Bantan?
I did ask who is Asa Bantan because at the time, I had no idea who Asa Bantan was. So I was simply asking, well, who is Asa Bantan? But I suspect it came to you in a different format.
No, I believe the person. I believe you said who is Asa Bantan.
I'm not denying that.
No, and I don't believe you say it in a format of who is Esa Bantan?
No. I did ask who is Esa Bantan. I asked. I'm not saying that I asked it in no kind of a soft way. I did ask. I remember. After you told me, I did remember the situation. But as I said, when the person came to mention, it's just like, okay, you need to put Jack Daniel on World Creole Music Festival or Creole in the Park or whatever the case is. And then I don't know who Jack Daniel is, so I'll sit and ask who is Jack Daniel.
You have to go and look at me on YouTube and watch my following and watch my work, watch my, but for that, it's a lot of, need that criteria
you need to tell them what you was going to do.
So the way the person tell me that, at that time I say, where? Growing up little boy, listening to Fernanda from the radio.
Okay, don't make me seem so good.
No, that is to show you how good you are and how talented you are, because a little boy growing up, I used to hear you on the radio. And when I finally meet you face to face, I said, no, that's not the person. Because the show you was hosting, with us. When you go in school and you hear that in the morning, you're looking at it as a elderly people show. Talking point. Yes. So when I see, that woman is from done, I think I check it, yeah. So anyway, I say, when the person tell me that, I say, boy, that she say, I got to make a song for that. I got to hear that shot. I said, she don't know me. I got to make her remember me.
But before you could do that, we got to meet.
And
then we've been very good friends.
We worked together and we even behind the song. Ferdinand. I know people.
In fact, I have seen a couple of songs.
Yes.
But it's my Borgia, it's my Borgia. It's my similar Borgia to somebody that will hear I'm from a little.
And getting to know, and when I get to know more about you, from where your background from, from my a district as well, come on.
So Esa, so we got to know each other very, very well, and he would come spend time with me in the office, and we would just talk, laugh about everything you could possibly think of. Yes, and I wouldn't say the one thing he wants me to do. I'll leave that to me. So let's get to the bottom of some other key things as we get into the program here tonight. And we know you're from Granby, so there is, you scream that up from the mountain top.
South City, Granby.
So the world knows
the parish of St. Patrick.
That's correct. So let us talk about your community and what is it about Granby that is so special to you?
Granby, from the time, I started my music career, from Granby supported me. Granby people, they always stand with their people, for their people, they will give you make free. If they find you trying to bring down their people, and one thing about Granby is a loving community, and Granby produce a lot of stars, the cultural capital. I still gonna take it, we're still gonna say Granby is the cultural capital, and I love my Granby people. I will tell you something about my Granby people. So Granby people love me so much. When I used to go to school, and then you liquor crew, and you'd be a little troublesome, and they say, hey son, but when I go on stage, the same people at the front of the stage jumping for me.
Right.
So Granby people always support me, and I will always love my Granby people and support them.
What part of Granby are you from?
Backstreet Granby.
Backstreet Granby.
Yes, I'm from Backstreet Granby.
Tell me a little bit about your family, Esa.
Oh, my mother, my father. My mother and father are still alive. We love them very much. Janet Edwards, Cyrus Edwards. My father is a man that a lot of people know. A lot of people know my father. I don't know if you know my father.
Of course.
But a lot of people know my father, seeing him in Roseau. He used to work in the botanical gardens, he used to work at the grammar school as well. He loves his cricket. Once you see that man, he have his radio. My mother, hardcore Christian lady. And me and her always in a debate.
Oh boy.
Loving lady, you know, because I grew up seeing my mother, you know, take care of 4 of us, you know, and because I have 3 brothers, 1 sister, and I see my mother do it, you know. We never had a lot, but she used to make it happen, you know.
I know you make it happen for her.
Oh yes, yes, but she is one of those people when if I have to look at her and how she do it, yeah, I'm really proud of her. I'm really proud of her because, you know, she
made ends meet.
She made the ends meet.
With little.
With little, and she bought her land, you know, a little boy growing up, she used to take us to the garden, you know, she have her land. We always have food on the table, you know, so big up to my mother, you know, big up to my mother, big up to my father. You know, I have a brother, my bigger brother, an artist as well, big up yourself, mission man. Love music. And my other brother works on the port.
I haven't seen him in a long while. Is he around?
Yeah, well, he went on vacation, but he's around. And my sister, most people maybe know my sister.
We know her.
You know, so one thing, always have my back.
Yes.
So when it comes to that part of it, my family, yeah, we're really close, you know, aunties, uncles, everybody. We're really
big
close.
Up to everybody.
Big up to everybody. Big up my entire family and certain fans that are like family to me as well. So
you spoke about your mother taking you to the garden and all of that. Give us a sense, in addition to that, Issa, what was life like growing up in Granby, back street?
Yeah, life growing up in Granby, back street. Troublesome. Issa was very troublesome. When I say troublesome, you know, the one that would run around, you know, my mother looking for me, I by the school playing cricket.
Again, so Issa, we were talking about your days growing up in Granby, and we were on the school element. And there's an interesting story that I'm very much aware of in terms of something that happened at school.
Yes.
Now, you were a bright young man, you did well in school, academically, you know, you had good school spirit, and you were involved in everything in school.
Everything.
But come to graduate, Issa can't graduate.
No.
What happened? What happened?
Well, you know when you cut in between, what you get to for that?
A rock and
a rock.
Okay, let's roll.
We rolling?
Yes, we rolling.
All right, let's roll it. We're good. You know when you get caught in between a rock and a hard place, that is what had happened. You get caught in something that you don't even understand and how that happened, what that happened. So you know, first, let me tell you what happened, because I really like to laugh. So when you watch, you know, every time we have Miss GBSS. Miss GBSS is Miss Granby Secondary School. Or we have Miss South City. You know, I was one of those performers, and I would come and perform right before the judges give the final decision, and I would just use the contestant's name and just freestyle something. They can sing about that. You understand? And the crowd would go crazy. And so when you watch, we at that time, I think that was 2004, the passing of our late Prime Minister, Honorable Pierre Charles. You know, so now we have a new PM now, and so that means Granby seat have to go up for by-election again. And so you know, looking at it, everybody late anyway. All the names I'm gonna call is late. Then the late Honorable Edward Regis reached out to me. Mr. Edward Regis said, "Hey sir, I know you have it in you, and we need you to come and perform a song, make a quick song because it was like a now for now thing, you know. Tell me tonight we have a thing. And
so who were you making the song for?
well, it's basically it was a song about.
Who were you making the song for, Mr. Bantan?
Like trying to see if it's 40 p.m. or for the party or for the
opposition.
No, you see, and you see you almost make me say the wrong thing. So that's how to take my time.
Take your time.
That's how you try to make tie by tongue. You see your life tie while ago. Yeah. No, I was making this song for Honorable Pierre Charles. But you know, in this song now I have to put 1-2 pieces in it, you know? Well, so the song was for because I think that's it that I use that same song and I remake it for Jeff Joe.
Okay.
Now you are gone, may your soul rest in peace. So that was the flow of that. And so when you watch, I say, yeah man, alright, I'm gonna roll and do it. Bam bam, I make my song. Pop, 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 you know, words and rhythm and good to go. Next thing I come on stage and perform the song and mash up the place for it and people screaming. But they put this stage right next to the principal house. The stage was by the principal house. You could actually stay on the principal porch and just touch people on the stage and on the road. You know what I'm saying? That is how close it is. So, you know, I try singing and the principal on the porch, you know, I see the principal on the porch and you know, so I try sing my song. I hit couple shots, you know. I hit couple shots and things. Boy, and during that time was around the same time they were selecting people for graduation and kind of thing. Next thing when you watch, they tell me they cross out my name from the paper. So I want to know why they cross out my name from the paper. So I have some teachers that inside there that love their ASA, you know, they love their ASA Bantan and thing. So when you watch the principal say, well, Aisha is your school child. And Aisha is a school child. And Aisha has no right to be on a political platform, giving the opposition blows. So he said, that is my decision. And cocky or cock, Chebe Bulel. And most of my graduate people that went to school with me, they know, you know, and even though that principal actually passed as well. So rest in peace to all three of them, you know. So further I come from that.
Yes.
Because after that, when that happened, you know, the people from Granby was confused, you know, like why, you know, because Asa did well, you know, and then they have to pass your mock exam, you know, Asa passed his mock exam. And at that time, I did many extracurricular activities because you have to do that for you to graduate and so on. I used to play for Dominica. I was the captain of the under 15, the Dominica under 15 team. Cricket team. We went to, I led that side to Trinidad, you know, for the Windward Island tournament.
Did you win?
No, we came in second place, something so. I played for the Dominica under 19 team where we won the Windward Island under 19 competition under the captaincy of Liam Sebastian, but Liam wasn't there for the finals, you know, and I actually took 5 wickets in the finals and we won that tournament where I ended up making the under 19 Windward team. Windward's team, where we went to Guyana and Jamaica.
But
and
it's
so
a prospect.
Yes, man. And it's not just playing, you know. In cricket, I know people, you know. For certain people, I know people, you have to perform, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So I used to play for the Dominica under 19 team, played for the Windward Island under 19 team. So most people who maybe don't know what's the Windward Island under 19 team, we are the best from the 4 islands, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, and Dominica.
Yes.
They select the best players and you represent the entire region. And I was one of those. So, you know, so people was wondering why, you know, and
yes.
next thing,
But it's like you really should
that
have
same
gone on the platform and see.
Huh?
You should not have gone it.
What?
You was a
So, so far, did you agree with that decision? Next thing,
No, I would have brought it
next
with
thing, when I watch the principal was a candidate running for the side, for the other side, but nobody never knew. You know, nobody didn't know, and people were shocked.
So you think he did that because you?
Oh yes, but definitely. But the man said that. The man said that plain out. The man said, you know, I'm a school child and I have no right to be on a political platform. You know, giving blows, selling jobs. That is, you know, that is children have to stay in children place.
That's right.
You know, that is
But
big
I
man thing.
still think, well, as to why the others would have asked you to come to do that is one discussion on its own.
Yes.
But I would have allowed you to graduate if I was in the principal's place.
Yeah, but you were not in the principal.
No, unfortunately, and nobody could.
But he
change
was
it.
a very good principal, and that is where he was strong.
I knew him,
That is
yeah.
where he was strong. When it come to them things, strict by them things. You know?
But listen, nobody could change his mind.
No, nobody, you're mad, they tell me, go,
Talking
they tell me,
about-
no, they tell me, go Ministry of Education, go this, go that, and the man say, this is my school, cocky no cock, chebe do leo.
So your school days really seem to have been some exciting days.
And you know, further enough, God is not a police because after school, right after that happened, I got a call from St. Martin. That's how I ended up in St. Martin. I got a call from St. Martin to come up to St. Martin to play for a cricket team
in St. Martin.
in St. Martin, and I had trials for the Dominican national side, you know, for the national team, and then I had to make a decision. Should I go? Should I stay? I say I go in. You know, you have to go and see because I just finished school. The same time I was leaving Dominica for their graduation. So I went, and that first game I played for that team, I performed really well, extremely well. Where a top guy in St. Martin, actually the owner of Najiko, there's maybe 30 something Najiko all around the Caribbean. So the head of Najiko contacted me and told me he wanted me to play for his team and so on, and they will give me a work, they'll give me a job. You know, I don't have to go back home. You don't have to go back Dominica, but I was in two minds. Should I go back home to represent Dominica for the national team, or should I stay there? Well, you know, the man gave me a job. I played for his team. We won. I did extremely well, and then I actually made the St. Martin national team. So I made the St. Martin national team. I played for St. Martin against St. Kitts and Antigua. We went to Anguilla, you know, and thing. And I actually got the most wicket that in that tournament, in that Leeward Island tournament.
So you were a big deal. So if you had come back to Dominica to continue to play for Windward,
yes,
you would have probably ended up on the West Indies team.
Definitely. There's a good chance I could have made the West Indies team. And there's not one cricketer in Dominica tonight that can come on the live there or call the radio and say, no, they do that, you know, because I play together with guys like Kevin James, Mervyn Matthew, you know, them top names, Julia, Liam Sebastian, Jean Paul, you know. Yeah, so I had a good chance, you know, on both sides because when I played for St. Martin, as I told you, I got the most wickets, 14 wickets in that tournament, but 14, but I wasn't selected on the Leeward side. You know, and that is what discouraged me.
Okay.
I wasn't selected on the Leeward side, maybe because I was from, you know, well, I was playing for St. Martin, and St. Martin was really like a cricket named nation. So they don't get a little press, you know, compared to like the Antigans, the Kittitians, and so on. So that is when I said, that cricket business, man.
And you left it alone.
Yeah.
But you remained on St. Martin, didn't you?
Yes, so I remained on St. Martin. And
You started to build a life for yourself.
Yes, started to build a life for myself. Most people know, I have a child that was born in St. Martin, Anissa, and I used to work for the same company, for the team I was playing for. Never left that job, and then at the same time, I went back to do what I love, music. I went back to do what I love, music, and then create some big hits and playing out there. And now the opportunity come again.
Yes.
Whether it's to leave your work and go and sing, or to decline the singing, do it for fun, but not to take it serious.
Right.
To travel.
And
that was a big decision. I made calls because a good job. I had a good job. I was a rental agent, working in a hotel, I had my office for myself, and I already built my network with all my clients. When them white people come down and hey sir, they go and look for me. I saw all my customers and so on, and I was getting paid really, really, really good. I was getting paid really well. And then on them type of jobs, you're always getting your tips. And sometimes you don't even use your salary because all them tourists checking you nice. And it was tough. At that time, my child mother would tell me, you going to leave your job to go and sing? You have to be crazy.
And then you would start thinking, boy, I probably really have to be crazy.
But I tell you, so so I made some calls, like call my mother. I told my mother tell me if I married my head.
Of course.
But she
stability, because you're in a stable job.
She understand, she would say, Mun paka kite. Oui. So they'll tell you, you're not living what you have, what you not yet see. But then that was a decision. But sometimes they just say, follow your guts. And I spoke to a guy in the studio. I tell him, it's you and Bantan. You have to take the chance. How would you know? How well would you do in the music industry, in the music, if you don't take that chance? And I hung around still, but I was doing a lot of shows in the French islands because I'd already get big in the French islands. I always used to go to Guadeloupe. Every weekend I have a show in Guadeloupe, in Martinique, in Marigalard, France. Go France, come back. And I not come in Dominica, them tell me my songs already big in Dominica. And Dominican promoters calling me, but them time I say no. I not leaving my job. I watching it. And every weekend I have a show. Every weekend. So one day, I'm in Guadeloupe and I just did a show, and then the mayor of Capeste called me and they tell me they want me to do I think a 15 minutes set performance for X amount of money. And the money now they're giving me higher than my salary. I say, what? So them time I used to roll with my backup boy, Bucky. Craig. So big up Bucky, that guy used to be with me 24/7 everywhere we roll. So Bucky telling me, Issa, we're not going. Issa, we're not going back SM. Let's just stay and do it. And then we will tell the manager we missed the flight. I tell Bucky, no, my Bucky boy, I was calling the manager to tell the manager. I check it out when I explain the band. That is why I want to stay. And it's for the mayor of Guadeloupe. The mama give me mama let me do it. So I call the manager. The manager answer the phone. Hello, Issa, are you back yet? I said, no, I just calling you to tell you I get another show and I just want to know if I could do it and I will come in tomorrow. Madam, Issa, tell the mayor, because I tell him it was for the mayor. Yes. He tell me, Issa, tell the mayor you have a job. See you at 10. And the man of the phone. I say, where, Issa?
Oh my goodness.
You have to make a decision. Yes. You cannot keep docking. Run and do shows, try to reach back in time. And that is what, if you really love that, go for it.
So you made the decision that day?
And I made that decision, but not that day, but I put my letter, like, you know, you gotta resign.
Did you stay to do the show?
If I said no, I go.
I
go because the man I call him before the flight. So no, if I did not come, he would know I did it especially. So I went, but I was vexed for an entire week. I was vexed for an entire week. And that is when I really made that decision. And I made that letter, and when I gave him that letter, I resigned. From that day, I will tell you that was February 3rd, 2012.
2012?
Yes, February 3rd, 2012. I never stopped getting show, and that is the Ace of Bantan you're seeing right there. My first show, big up to Tilly.
Yes.
Tilly Thomas.
And I have a little message from Tilly, and I'm not seeing Tilly's message.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening tonight.
So now I give you the story of Ace of Bantan because it's that we come there to talk about it. And then Tilly Thomas is who was one of those that called me for the wet fit. Tilly, I'm the biggest show in Dominica when we hear about wet fit. And that time there, I already done the wet fit song. How can you come to a wet fete and don't expect for you to get what you don't know is blues you go get Papa wet. And big up to my producer, my reading producer, my main guy, Massman, Arad Moses. That guy is one of the best. Oh my God.
I've been working with Issa from, I would say, inception, or should I say, from his first hit song up until today. So, working with him has always been an experience. Always been, something I've always looked forward to, doing different projects and whatnot. Issa has a very creative mind. And most times his creativity does come into play as it relates to real life, So whatever he thinks, we try to put it into the music. And so, that's why majority of his music has been a success. He has a lot of hits songs. And so my relationship with Issa Bantan, I would say that his main producer, but 80% of, I would say 90% of his songs were produced by me. I basically single-handedly produced over 50 songs, so most of his work was done by me. And when he comes to me, I automatically know what he's looking for because of that tenure of doing music together. And something so funny, we have been working with each other for a while, and we have never been in a studio having an actual session and doing something from scratch. So it's like our mind clicked, and then the connection was just there right away. So whatever I do, it's almost perfect for him. So working with him has been a pleasure. And I wish him continued success in his musical career. Thank you.
Wow. No, you hold me tonight. Wow. And I just called him a name. I just go down the line. No one of them things have to stick and live have to go down. Because that is something else.
But we are right.
Yes, Fernanda, and the funny thing about it, that Massman, Arad Moses, and I are close family, and we did not even know when we even start working. He knew, but I didn't know, because my grandfather, by mother, is his granduncle. His grandfather is my granduncle. So our grandfathers are brothers. Our grandfathers are brothers.
Okay, so you all are related.
Close.
Yes. And clearly, I think from what he's saying, that He's been there with you.
Yeah, from the start.
From the start.
From the start. So while I said Martin, you know, I can remember somebody anyway introduced me to Massman, tell me Massman, but I think you're the DJ Massman. And I link up Massman, and Massman sent me a reading. That's the wet fet reading. Everything Massman touches gold. Everything Massman touches a hit. Hits. Massman is the hit maker. Massman is the #1 producer right now. You understand? Massman is the toughest. He's tough. Dominic have a lot of tough producers, but Massman right up there. Trust me, a lot of hits. Hits, because if we have to look at numbers of hits. If I tell you, for that, Eric just call songs, and it's Massman. You know, it's not just make one hit today, and
talented.
then maybe your next one is 2 years. He's very talented. So when we look at it, Massman sent me that wet fet reading. That reading was so bad. I ended up putting that reading in a folder. Like how you are looking for voice note from whoever you have guided me. In a folder. I put that reading in a folder. And all when I was traveling, going through that decision making, whether should I quit my job and take my singing seriously, I have that reading there. And one time, you know, I come to Dominica for summer, and that wet fet thing happened. And the wet fet story of the song is a true story. I actually built this song exactly how it happened. So whatever you're singing in the song, that is what actually happened. You know? So when I went back up, you know, and I having that vision of what that happened in the wet fet, and I said, boy, that really Massman had sent me that bad reading.
You go and look for it in the folder.
I go and look for it in the folder, and I punched that reading, and all I hear is this song. And it's not like you say Massman was there with me making this song, and I played it reading, and I sing on it. I vision what was happening in the wet fet when the guy came in, didn't want it to get wet, and they put the hose around his neck and drag him outside. Then I say, how can you come to a wet fet and don't expect? And the rest was history. The rest was history. And from ever since, Massman and I keep working together, and everything we release is a hit. Massman from I Know People, I Know People. There is Massman from Down, like you just played, High, Masterpiece, I mean, Khaki, everything for them now.
These are all
Massman, all, you know, and Massman know what I like. Massman is really good. Massman produced some of the biggest hits in Dominica, not for only me, but for, you know, for Triple K, even that song hit, you know. So Massman is the one who produced those things. For Signal Band, I think Drink on the House is from Massman. So I mean, big up yourself, Massman.
Well, clearly he's a very, very talented young man.
Very talented young man. Very talented.
And it's good that you met him and that he could assist you along the journey. So let's talk about some of the events. So you started to get big, and then you started getting calls to perform.
So started to get calls to perform. You know?
And you've performed just about everywhere. But some of those I'm sure that stand out to you are the ones from the World Creole Music Festival, and you've done some really nice international performances as well.
Yes.
Talk to us about some of your performances that you've done.
Internationally or locally?
Both,
because,
right here.
I mean, Dominica, you know, one of the rich in Dominica perform at the wet fet, as I was telling you. Tilly Thomas, big up yourself. You know, Tilly had one of the best events put together in Dominica for local artists, and people used to look forward to that. And I that was one of the events I love going to, you know. And then from there, you know, me and Tilly start to work, you know. Tilly, one Tilly for you, Tilly for you. And Tilly, you know, Tilly out there pushing money tea. You know, money tea, Tilly will give you the value, you know. Make sure people don't take advantage of you.
Oh, I encountered
you know?
you for sure. Wait, first.
Yeah. Make sure, you know. And something Tilly tell me that will forever stay with me, that you're gonna be one of the biggest artists out there. You know, the boss. You know, and big up to Tilly for that. You know, and I'll forever, you know, thank Tilly for being there and guiding me through. And a lot of people just still ask if me and Tilly still working. Definitely me and Tilly working together. Tilly still behind the scenes. You know, maybe you might not see him up front sometimes, but Tilly still behind the scenes. And for some of the biggest shows that we did, you know, in the Caribbean, LOL, Antigua, LOL in Antigua, over 15,000 people. Over 15,000 people. And Asa Bantan, every year up till Corona, I'm the headline for that show.
Yes.
15,000 people. And that is one of the biggest shows in Antigua. You know, I do St. Martin Carnival, which is Bacchanal Sunday. That is one of the biggest wet fest as well in the Caribbean. And then I did there's a show called Family in St. Lucia. I did that with Shensia, Bonji Garlin, Skinny Fabulous. That was one of the biggest shows in St. Lucia for Carnival. And if we have to leave the Caribbean and go out, Ibiza Soca Festival. I performed on the Ibiza Soca Festival. That was huge, you know, together with Marshall, Montano, and so on. And then the Uber Soca Cruise, where all the soca artists on one cruise, over 50 entertainers on one cruise for like 2 weeks. So there's 2 boats, I did the both. And I was the only artist from Dominica or entertainer from Dominica in terms of DJ artists or whatever. And I went out there and represented for Dominica and let people know, you know, where I'm from and what type of music is this, and pressure on the cruise. Because when you look at it, we watch over that side, you see about 6-8 Trini guys, 3 Trini artists together, 5 Lucian together, 8 Grenadians together, you know, 3 Bajans together,
One Dominican.
One Dominican, and I have to go up against them, you know. So you like,
and they wonder why they call you the boss.
The Booyah boss. And when I go out there, you know, it's energy, and I make a mark. I make a mark.
There is somebody who comes with you when you go out to perform internationally. I'm hoping that is the right one. Let's try.
Boom, well, you don't know Malcolm X in the building, representing Grand Bay, representing Dominica. Right now, I want to take this time out to big up my bigger brother Asa Bantan on his 2 awards. You know, started out from the high school stage. Right now we're on the international stage, and we're continuing to take Booyah music to the world. And you know, every time Asa Bantan comes to the United States, I always get the pleasure of doing the US tour with him. So I am his official tour DJ when he comes to the United States. And it's always a pleasure going to all those different places and seeing how the people appreciate Asa Bantan, and see how the people they really treat him like a big celebrity, not just a Dominican artist. You know, they really treat him good, they treat him nice, and it really makes me feel good when I sit back and I look at my big brother getting all that love and all that support. You know, it's really a good feeling to see him reach where he wants to be in life, you know. So I just want to take the time out to big up my boy. Big up Asa Bantan on the 2 awards. 2022, we lose. You know, when we come back up to the States, we don't do the tour again. The schedule right now is being planned. So 2022, you know, continuing to take Booyah music to the world. So once again, this is Malcolm Vex representing Grand Bay, representing Dominica. Just want to big up my boy Asa Bantan. 2022 Booyah music to the world. Boom!
Good evening in the spotlight viewers, listeners, Miss Ferdinand Frampton and the Booyah boss himself, Asa Bantan. Yo, Asa Bantan is a gem. The love and respect he gives to us, his fans are top class. Trust me, second to none. That man treats us like family, like we know each other forever. He represents his island like a true ambassador everywhere he goes. Something from Dominica must be displayed. And thanks for giving back to your people, to your community, to the whole island. From the snack program to your new venture, the Change for Change. Trust me, we love that, my brother. Bless up always. Jah guidance to you and your team. And one love, my brother. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. We're rooting for you. Bless up.
These are your people. your friends,
Yes.
your supporters,
Yes.
your partners.
Yes.
You know, I really wanted to get them on, you know, to just let you know what they think of you and how they feel about you.
Yes.
Right? There's two more that I want to play, Asa, and before we talk some more, I just want to use the opportunity to do that. So once we get into talking about your work that you do for people and in communities and everything else that you do, the Change for Change program and all of that, I think we need to touch base on that. But before we do that, I have two more for you that I would love for you to listen to, and then we're going to get into the meat of our matter, because that for me, I love you, I love your music, I love what you do, but for me is your conscience when it comes to people, helping people and being there for people and giving back.
Yes.
That for me is crucial and critical. But let's take this.
I want to congratulate His Excellency Asa Bantan, Cultural Ambassador of the Commonwealth of Dominica, for being awarded Male Artist of the Year at the 2022 first ever Dominica Music Award hosted by Creole Habits. This is a well-deserved award to Asa. He has and continues to make a tremendous contribution to the development of bouyon music in Dominica and taking it to the world. Asa is a true ambassador. I also would like to thank and congratulate Creole Habits for hosting the Dominica Music Award. This was an excellent initiative, which I hope will continue and will become an annual event to recognize the contribution of our artists. So, Belina, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Asa from the cultural capital of Dominica, South City, Grand Bay, on his huge achievement. Congratulations, bro.
Ferdinand, thank you for affording me this opportunity. I just want to big up my dear friend, my favorite bouyon artist and entertainer, our musical ambassador, Dominica's musical hero, and maybe the most patriotic Dominican that I know, and that is none other than yours truly, my dear friend, Asa Bantan. Big congratulations to you on capturing the award for the Best Male Artist of the Year and the Best Male Bouyon Artist of the Year. I mean, hands down, it's undisputed. You know, you are the Bouyon King, the Bouyon Boss, and of course, the one deserving of these two prestigious awards. You know, Ferdinand, Asa has proven himself over and over, and I am really proud of his accomplishments. His fans love him, and I have been privileged to work directly with this talented individual. A few years ago, we collaborated on Amnesia Costume Band and the Crazy Mess T-shirt band, and this was the year that we had the largest costume band in the history of Dominica with over 600 people. And you know, when the diasporans, especially the French people here, Asa Bantan, let me tell you something, they were flooding our shows that year. And if we had more time to create more costumes, I am sure we would have been topping 1,000 on the road. So actually, Ferdinand, you were actually part of this collaboration because Flo was our main sponsor at the time, and I remember that you were working tirelessly with us to make this for a success. So thank you for that as well. But you know, most people know Asa Bantan for his bouyon hits and of course his popular Truth Tuesday. But for me personally, what I love the most about this brilliant young musician is his giving nature. And that's something I would like to see more with our local artists. You know, Asa Bantan loves to give. He loves to help the poor and the downtrodden. And as you can see, the more he rises, is the more he gives. And that is why I say, you know, he's a brilliant artist because, you know, he understands the key to success. And I would also like to commend him on his Change for Change venture. That again was another brilliant venture. Little change making big changes. And when I saw that, I was really inspired by this venture. Because for me as well, this is how I started my charity, giving back in small ways. And then, you know, my efforts grew over time. In fact, I have already declared that this year I will embark on an island-wide outreach program So Asa, I know you're listening. Maybe we can team up because we are like-minded, and Fadina, you know him very well as well. Asa, he has such a beautiful spirit. You know what I would do? I know he's not a drinker, but I used to get his favorite drink. That is this special champagne from Guadeloupe, and I used to buy this, and then we would sit and we would have our little champagne, and we would sit for hours, and we would chat, and we would exchange ideas. We can talk for hours, because Asa is loaded with ideas, and I too am bursting with ideas. And so when we meet, it's like an explosion of ideas. Our friends around us used to say, calm down. You guys are going too big. Your ideas are too big. But when we collaborate, our motto is go big or go home. And this is how we approach everything. So. Asa, actually Fadina, one more thing before I go. One more thing I love about Asa is that he is always promoting Dominica. Dominica is always at the forefront of everything that he does. I mean, Asa Bantan has to be the most patriotic person that I know. If he's not wearing our flag, he is carrying our flag, he's promoting our flag, he's even making our flag a fashion statement. I mean, that is what you call a true ambassador for our country. So again, Asa, if you are listening, keep that fire burning. You have a bright future ahead of you. In fact, you wear so many hats. You're an artist, you're a musical ambassador, you're a philanthropist, you're also a business owner, you're a comedian, you're even a mentor to our young guys on the block. But as you know, between me and you, there's one more hat that I would like to add to your name. I want an inside joke. So Asa, we love you. I am one of your biggest fans, and I look forward to new and exciting things from you in 2022.
And that there was the Honorable Melissa Scarrett, and before her, your parliamentary representative, Honorable Vince Henderson. And I thought it was important to get your parrot, to just share some words with you, because I know he would have played a role in your ambassadorship as well, even before he was your parrot. And then I also know that you share a similar relationship with Mrs. Scarrett that you do with me. So. And I know also that you collaborated with her for one of her carnival bands, or 2 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 2 or 3.
And I said I have to get her, to share some words with you tonight. And I told her, I know you'd be very happy to hear from her.
When did it happen?
Why do you want to know?
Because I saw her, I think yesterday when
but that's how do you expect me to tell you that? It will take away the exact reaction that we're getting now. It would take away from that. So I am happy that they came through and really, were able to share that with me. There is, there was supposed to be one from Nikki, one of your biggest friends.
God.
And, I know some things happened tonight for whatever reason. And so,
but it's not big if you all the information there.
No, you did not.
So I want to know where you don't get the Jesus Christ.
I'm very resourceful.
I will give you that.
If I know I need something, I go and I get what it is that I need to get to have the impact that I want to have. It's something new that I introduced with the show this year, and I think it really adds a nice bit of color to the show, that you're hearing from the person, but you're also hearing from people who in some way have impacted the person's life, or the person has collaborated with, or have had some kind of partnership with. And so, I normally have to try this person or try this other person, to try to see how I can get through. But it works out, and I really just want to thank everyone who assisted me in one way or the other. If it's getting this person's number, I got through to your DJ, I got through to everybody.
You're like the FBI, man. You know CID? That is what they call it. I know people that know people.
Yes. It's we actually using my main phone on the live, so I don't know if that's why things went wrong tonight. But I do have my other phone, and TV has sent me the voice notes that I would also like to share. TV's voice notes, because all of these people, you know, play a part in your career, played a part in your career in some way or the other, and let's hope that we can get this going now.
Yes. Big up to my partner, Isa. Big up to you, Mr. Bantan, the ambassador of Dominica. I congratulate you. Congratulations from me, from my heart. You know, I always used to tell you, my brother, he was the best, he was the boss, and I have never seen another person in Dominica come like you. You always used to tell me I talk in madness. Always, every time I bring up to especially if I'm in Antigua. When I tell them, man, use the marshal, you tell me, nah, you like to hear me say that, and I tell you, you cannot stop me from saying that. I always telling you that, you see bodies, and you will see what I'm talking about. And you see, eventually, hard work, perseverance, paid off, my brother. You don't listen, you don't watch, you don't see. I appreciate that of you. And you see the result. And I always tell you personally, remember when I tell you what I'm going to make you be? That is private, you know what I'm talking about. And I know you have achieved everything of that. Respect my brother, keep pushing and keep doing what you're doing. You're right there. You know what I'm saying? You are right there. God bless you, my brother. And for that, the runaway, you know, he was a big part of that movement, you know, because when I was going on the other side, and then I tell you, right, the other side will catch us, the other side wanted us, and I said, nah, I'm going to make 3 nights, we don't have to fight like that, you know what I mean? And from the time I come to you, you never waver, you never sway, you jump on the tree, and you make it happen one time. You that give us the start. Always remember that with the cooperative vibes. You for that. Big up to you too. Bless up and keep pushing. Keep pushing for that. I love your work. I always love your work. And respect was a big part of the puzzle too. Big part of that.
Yes, so that's TV right there, Asa. And Nikki, I realized just recently her message as well on my regular phone, but Nikki, you can send it on 275-7565. Again, Asa, as I was saying, you know, I know it's about you. And
because you have tonight feeling like my birthday. Yes. Tonight even looking big and better than your awards, man.
Yes, I really wanted to do that for you because I think you deserve it. Yeah. And you deserve to hear people say good things about you because you do good things.
Yeah, those are they are people, you know, that always give me the strength, always push me. You know, as you heard Melissa herself say, we always trading ideas, you know, and she herself have done a wonderful job in the city. Yes. You know, so big up yourself, Melo, you know, we roll already. You know, big up my pal rep, and that's someone I really want to work with, you know. No matter who the pal rep be of my community, I want to work with everybody, you know, and I want to work with him. And as you know, Felena, I had that Asa Bantan T20 softball league.
Yes.
That I brought to my community, and it was really, really good because at that time, you know, the people was a little, you know, frustrated. People wanted somewhere to go, something to do. You know, the elderly, the kids, and you know, and people always saying that, you know, like Granby not together or Granby this and divided, and you know, and I just say, you know what, I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm gonna show them that once there are things for people to do, young people to do, we will come together and do it. And I came out big up to one of my friends, Marlon Dowie. You know Marlon Ship, you know, he always, you know, one of my logistics guy. If you try to figure out something like a puzzle, you just throw a set of dominoes or set of puzzles, you put it together, just send it for Marlon. Okay.
And he'll sort things out.
And then link up with Marlon, and then we just execute it. And and it was huge in Granby. You know, the vendors made some money. The elderlies had a place to go. The kids had a place to go, and all those guys came out from Rasta to Ballhead. You know what I'm saying?
Came out to
participate and played the game of cricket. And even at the final game, the Prime Minister and his wife and their family came to that final game, you know, and showed support because it was a great initiative, you know, that T20 I brought to Granby. So that's something I want to continue doing, you know, for the community, keep the community together, community spirit, you know, and
continue to do that for sure, Issa. But we have so many things to talk about that you've done in terms of giving back, and as I said, you know, that element is important to me, and I'm going to assist you in going through some of them. Let us talk first about the most recent, which is the Change for Change.
Yes.
How did that come about, and what is the objective of Change for Change?
You know, I always looking for creative ways, creative initiative to give back to people, and people always, you know, I have a lot of fans, and they always want to contribute. So I say, you know what, I have to find a way to get more people involved, you know, my fans involved, and change. Every little change counts, you know. So we're using small change to change somebody's life. We're using small change to change a child's school bag, change a child's school shoes, change an elderly galvanize, change the clothes for the vagrants. You know, so everybody can feel involved, everybody can be involved, even though you put in 25 cents. That 25 cents is called change, and that 25 cents is going to change a child's life, change somebody's life. And I say, you know what, change for change. And, you know, brought the idea again to my logistic guy, what if we just change for change? And I was in the States at that time when I thought of that idea. So I went out, looked for the bottles, and I don't know if you saw the bottle already.
I have, it's beautiful.
Oh, did you put something in it?
I have not been at a
you saw it on
Facebook.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
but I definitely will be putting my change whenever I come across one. We should get one at Flow.
Yes, because so the initiative is, you know, if you buy something, the little loose change they give you back when you have the 25 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents, $1. All you have to do is just drop it in the bottle. Because you never know, that change might reach on your doorstep, on somebody's doorstep that you know, and so on. And then we want to be, we go in to be fully transparent with that. Whenever the bottle is filled and we get the chance to open it, we want to go make a live and make it, because it's everybody money, and that money, that change, we want to circulate it right back into the community, to the shops, you know, the little shops, the little grocery stores, the little bars, you know, where we can, you know, give the less fortunate families vouchers, because their groceries are paid for already, so they can go today and take something to make breakfast, take something to make their lunch, take something for supper. The bakeries and so on, their bread are paid for. If a lady have a galvanized to be changed, you know, it can buy it, and you know, so that is what we really want to do, and we try to take it to the entire island. Big up to the Ministry of Tourism, big up to the PS. I really like that PS. The PS is Miss Lisa Valmont. I like that PS because she's young and she looked like she want to work, you know, and
you're ready to work.
And I'm ready to work. And once they are getting involved in what we the young people are doing and want to help and so on, and they want to partner with us, and they, you know, that is something I really applaud, you know. So we try to get one to the airport and one to the, you know, like maybe the cruise ship terminal.
So when people are leaving,
they always have change, so you leave in. As soon as you come for security, you know, when the security make you tell you, take out everything in your pocket. When you take out, you know, you push out your pocket, take out keys and take out the liquor change, the $2, you will leave it in the bottle. Because
excellent thoughts.
Because that we're going to bring it right back into the community.
Good stuff.
You know?
This is great. This is a really good initiative.
So far I'm just telling you, right? So
yes.
Jollies as well. So Jollies partnered with me on that. So big up Jollies. You know, we have one bottle at all three locations. Whenever you go to Jollies in the pharmacy, feel to get a little thing, and you know, those girls that like to go and get their money after. Whenever you buy it, just put the change in the bottle. Put the change in the bottle. Then we have one at Scott Z, you know, at Shewen Cuisine in Scott Z. So whenever you go to Scott Z, you can always check out Shewen Cuisine. That's the purple one, it's over there. We have one at Fish Spot in Point Michelle. You know, I heard that one is doing good too, because high rollers that does go down there. And then we have one in Granby at Ben's shop, Baba and Nano in Granby. So my Granby people, if all you want to put a little change in the bottle, looking for the bottle, that one by Baba, by Nano.
All right, Issa, we have quite a bit to talk about. So let us talk about the snack program that you did. You've done some donations to schools, so children seem to be
yes.
you know, key to your heart. So let us talk about some of those other programs.
No, I love the kids, please. I love the kids. I remember after Hurricane Maria, you know, they had a lot of relief programs going on, you know, and everybody getting their relief packages, you know, their rations, their this, their that. And I realized nobody was really talking about the kids. And the kids was, you know, the kids and them, they needed their relief too. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do an Asa Bantan kiddies relief party, you know, so where I did a huge party for them in the car wash at Granby, and they were very excited because, you know, there was no lights, no water, so no internet, you know, no internet, no light, no water, so they cannot watch their like cartoon programs or their educational programs or whatever. So I said, you know what, I have to do something for the kids, especially the kids from my community of Granby. And I did a huge party for them, brought them toys, but you know, everything from snacks to, you know, and they were so happy. From that I say, boy, children, that is one of my goals. I have to keep on doing stuff for the kids, because, you know, they're happy when they see Asa, mommy look Asa, and this and Asa, and so I like, and for Christmas as well, you know, once I went to the hospital, to the children wards. I say, you know what, I saw on Christmas there are children at the ward.
Yeah.
And they're not able to go home. To go home and spend Christmas with their family. Or maybe don't have a home to go to. Yeah, or you know, them their little toys and so. So I went to the hospital, to the children ward. I went and I brought them some gifts, and first you should have seen their expression. Like, you know, what better Christmas it can have when Asa Bantan show up to the hospital at your bed with a gift, you know. So the kids and them, I always keep them close to my heart, and that is how I end up creating that program called the Asa Bantan Snack Program, you know, during the pandemic first, because I say, you know what, when you look at it, we at home, I have a platform, and I have a lot of, like, I have a lot of good fans. My fans are very giving, like the generous, and I say, you know what, Asa, because they always messaging me, Asa, how can we help? How can we partner with you? I say, well, I'm going to have the Asa Bantan Snack Program, you know, because Corona going on, you have that virus going around. Some of the kids may not understand what it is, but they actually seeing, but they seeing things changing in their eyes, just to keep their spirit alive. And thinking about it again, I say, there are many kids that go to school without snack. They may have today and might not have tomorrow. And I said that is one of the ways I can get my fans involved, my supporters. And I asked them, let's partner. You send me something, I match it up. I went to big up Archipelago Trading, they also came on board and partnered with me on that too. And Marlon Shipping again, and we just come together. I identify the schools, and first every week we would go to a different school, from Girondel Primary, Grande Primary. We went to Tetmon Primary, Bagatelle Primary, Bellevue Primary, Vekas Primary, Thibault Primary School, Corleo Primary School, Cooley District Primary School, the St. Joseph Primary School, Monjon Primary School, the Rosa Primary School. I mean, we was all over fields. And even apart from just the snack program, I usually do another donation to the schools, if they reach out, maybe,
I know you've done some microwave.
Yes, some microwave to that school right there in Pottersville. They call it the Achievement Learning Center. I don't know if you know that school.
Of course I do. Yes. Miss LeBlanc.
Yeah, how they call the?
Critically involved.
Yes, yeah, Achievement Learning Center. We also did that preschool in Ansdime. Ansdime preschool. We gave them a microwave. I partner with that wonderful lady from New York, Patora, as well on that. And we went to Sufuye Primary School, give them some sport gears, and Newton Primary School, and you were the one that gave me that school, eh? So big up for that on that all for them I say, Issa, that school is they does very well in agriculture. Yes, so so we went to that school.
Well, to be honest with you, you mentioned to me, I made a couple of calls, and then that school, and I think another school was suggested. I said, Lisa, let's do Newton.
Yeah, the Newton Primary School. So we went to Newton Primary School, and I brought them agricultural tools, cutlasses, rakes, water cans, just name it first. And big up to the principal, they welcome me, the kids were happy, and that's the nice thing about it when you go to the schools. And
that was one of the few things we put out a press release for. So, I've been saying to Asa, we need to do our PR around these things. Unfortunately, I also told him I may not be able to assist him.
You're telling me to do something, and at the same time, with the same breath, you're telling me you may not be able to.
I did one.
This one I never see again. She do one and I never see her again.
We did the one for the Newton Primary, I would really love to be able to help. Oh God, somebody's saying, oh my good show, so impressed with Asa. Yes, but I want him, because I'm not saying that, every time your hands clap or whatever that you have to speak about it. But when somebody like you, you really go out and you do those things.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's okay to talk about it.
Yeah, and you see, first, sometimes you hear people say, why you have to.
No,
let me tell you that, Fredina. You know the amount of things I do that I don't talk about, And like you would, like Fredina, there are some elderlies that I would pay their water bill for them. I'm not going to post that on Facebook or tell the people and they might pay that person water bill. There are certain people, you help on the side, that
they need a little help.
There are plenty of things, you do, you bring clothes for certain people.
Ones, like to the schools and so on.
When they know, you have to show, because the people that don't want you to talk about it is the people that are not doing nothing, because they want me and them to be on the same level. We're not on the same level. I doing, you're not doing. Show yours. So that is how it have to be. And I go out there and I get it for them, especially if you have sponsors or you have people who partner with you. They want to see what you do with their, so we have that Change for Change program, that big bottle of coins, let's say it full. We're going to come to behind the scenes. I didn't just come and say, no, we're going to come to the people and then everybody involved, and they want to see So you know.
And you've done quite a bit more work. I see here. You did $1,000 to the Grand Bay Primary School.
Yes, sir.
We spoke about the tools that you gave to Newtown Primary.
I gave the Martin Tepmon School, we organized so they could get a 40-inch TV.
You gave the sports gear to the Soufriere Primary School. You did a stove for one of the schools as well.
Yes,
you did some work at the Dominica State Prison.
Yes.
I mean, you've really given back, Asa.
I went to the state prison because I say there are people in the prison as well that need help.
And there are people too.
There are people that are forgotten, people, family, so I went up there, brought them a huge barrel, with vests and socks and boxers, things they need, water and so on, we did, as you said, the stove for the Caleb Laura Primary School, and as well, every time I do breakfast fete, breakfast fete is one of the biggest local fete, and I always give back from breakfast fete, where we always give stoves and gas tanks and mattresses to the less fortunate people. We went up to Kingshill, identify a lady who needed a mattress with pillows. We bought one for her. Went to Gota community. Did this guy after the hurricane, loses.
I can't keep up.
Loses house and stove. We brought him a stove with a gas tank, and in the Grand Bay as well. So there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
You're giving back, and I always say that to you. That is why God will always continue to bless you. So somebody's saying you're big up to Asa Bantan, congrats, a big fan, and he has a people's personality and he's very down to earth. So those of you who want to send the message, you can send it on the 275-7565 number. That's 275-7565.
And first, I don't know if you can remember when we went to on Christmas Day. I don't know, Christmas Day is a special day for me. Christmas Day when we went to Paybush, we was doing that event in Paybush.
Yes.
And then I had that song called Money, and I used that song, and we had something like an offering, but we used something from the speaker, and we turned it into something like a basket. And we pass it around in the event, and people was putting in money in Paybush, big up my Paybush people, and we raised over $1,200 in that basket.
During that event?
During that 30 minutes performance of that song. And I decided we're going to give that money to somebody in need in the Paybush community. And then
innovation
right there.
While
I'm on stage, Emo was there, Emma Lynn, and Emo from Paybush as well. So Emo would say, that person, okay, I'm gonna get. So they went and wake up the lady in her bed while the lady sleeping, and brought the lady to the event on stage to get that money.
Oh.
And I think we gave her $1,000, and we had give the Paybush something to the Paybush Primary School, like maybe the $300 and something, and the lady was in shock. Like, can you believe you sleeping on Christmas morning? Somebody waking you up telling you, look at that job there. They calling you for money.
Money, just like that.
And then the MO as well told me about another lady in St. Joe that I think fire took her house, and it was that same Christmas day. I went over there and made a donation to her, to keep the display that she have about 5 or 6 children, so once I can help, I will always...
and God will continue to bless you for that. Let me just read a message there from someone. And she says, wow, I had no idea that Asa is so involved with the entire country, if I may say so, in such a positive and productive and selfless way. My boy cuddles, and God's continued guidance, good health, success, and blessings. My love for you is unconditional. Congratulations, my boy. That's Lisa. Lisa White.
Yes.
Lisa White. So she just sending a message there for you. Nikki, if you can, please just send the message to the other number. and let's see if we can get that, because I know that you're a huge fan of Asa Bantan.
Oh yes.
And you know we would love to get that. You also helped raise some 17K for a young boy who was in a bicycle accident.
Yes. There was this young boy, you know, from Maho, was in an accident on a bicycle, and he needed help, and he needed it now. And you know, seeing that I have that type of fan base, and that's why I will always say, be big up to the Asa Bantan fans. You know, my fans, they're not just
there for the music.
They're there to help. Whatever Asa say we're going to do, if we're going to do that,
they come through.
They come through and contribute. And within a week, we raised over $15,000, and where I myself put in $2,000.
$2,000.
Yes, I put in $2,000, and we handed it over to the mother. She was really happy for that. And the little boy is doing good. And I don't just donate, give back, and forget. I always follow up, check up, and you know, and me and the mother, we really cool, you know, and she doing a phenomenal job. So
that is why God will always continue to provide opportunities for you to perform and to make your money.
Yes.
Because you do not keep all that money in your pockets.
But I always say, if you get $10, you can give away 2.
You can give away 2.
You can give free. You know, that's why I'm telling you, remember, it's the people's money still. You work for it, but it's the people and them that's supporting you. They are the one coming to the events, giving you the love, you know. So you can always give, because that money can always help in the community and circulate right back into the community.
Agreed. So you've done quite a bit of that, Asa, and the government of Dominica, I think it was 2 years ago, made you a goodwill ambassador.
Yes.
Tell us what that meant to you and what is your role as a goodwill ambassador?
Yeah, you know, before being a goodwill ambassador, I feel I was already an ambassador, you know, before they even named me that. And big up to man like Tilly again, you know, always been fighting for that, you know, always saying that, always making the push for that. And to my late parliament representative, you know, Honorable Ed Regis, you know, push for that, Melissa Skerritt, you know. So it really meant a lot to me. But before getting that recognition, I was already doing that role. You know, I was already playing that role, doing it. Because somebody don't have to recognize me for me to know, you know, represent where I'm from and let the world know where I'm from. Especially, you know, when you go in the States or in Europe, you know, those bigger countries, and you know, you have that soca music playing and our music not really playing, and you know, and I get the opportunity as a Dominican to go out there and play the only Dominican, and the entire night no Dominican song play. And when I get the opportunity, no, I have to dance Dominican all the head.
Of course.
I have to dance Dominican all the head and stomp it, you know. So and I love my country. I love my island. I love where I'm from. Love my people. So you always there are people when they go away, they don't like to say where they're from. Somebody must be shame. That's why I made that song. I can never forget where I come from. You know, and that is one of those things. Being a goodwill ambassador, I'm proud to be one, and my job is to go out there and let people know where my island is, where Dominica is located. It's not the Dominican Republic, it's called the Commonwealth of Dominica. We're in the middle of the Caribbean, beautiful island, you know. So first, being a goodwill ambassador, I mean, something special.
Something special. Just on a lighter note, is it a paying job?
No, it's not a paying job. We're not getting paid to be a good ambassador, which I think we should.
You think you should?
Yes, of course.
Yes,
because the role
I'm with you on that one.
It's a tough role, because you have to go out there and really represent, and especially when they brand you as a good ambassador, you have to put yourself in check now, because before you do anything now, ambassador, so, but we do it from the heart,
yes.
and I love doing it, and I will keep on doing it and keep on letting people know where Dominica is located, where I'm from, and why should they visit Dominica.
There's a couple of messages here. This one from Ashton Luge.
Okay.
He said, here's a young man that is eternally committed to his God, country, family, village, family, and fans. A true ambassador that will not only be remembered for his talent, but for his good heart. And he says, love you, bro. Somebody else says, hi, this is Deno. People say I praise it Asa too much, but just want him to know that I will work with him to do for the people like he is doing. I love what he's doing, and I'll keep praising him. Somebody else says, good night, just want to wish Asa continued success in all his endeavors. I will forever have his back, giving back to the community. God bless you, bro. Love, Kyle, Sarah, Ryan.
Yes, I.
So that is that person right there. Okay, so that might be from Nikki. Let's see if we can get this one from Nikki right here.
Congratulations to the Booyah Boss. My roadrunner is the Bantan, straight out of the nature island of the Caribbean, Dominica. You make being an ambassador a piece of cake, my boy. Everywhere you go, you represent country and citizens to the max. I am extremely proud of you and the work you continue to do for your country. And that's why I will say, we're loose! So your work is never done. Thank you. Love always. Nikki, I got you. I support you.
Wow.
We love you too, Nikki.
Yeah, that's from someone, she says, I got
oh, yes,
you.
Nikki got my
and
back.
I have your back.
Yes.
Whatever you
She have my
want,
back.
you need, I'm there.
Those are some of my top supporters,
And you have a few
they
more
would
girls,
travel.
sure.
They would travel to see me perform in in a different state, and put that energy when Nikki shows up to any event, whether I'm there or not, that whoever DJing have to play Asa Bantan. That's the kind of support I get from these people. Have my back. They wouldn't just sit down and let people just talk bad about me. They will defend me. Defend me, and I really appreciate it. I really love them, Nikki. And I just you got one from Lisa White as well. Then those are some of the they are self-ambassadors to Dominica, because they represent Dominica with their flag. That's why I want to, the next time I'll be meeting with the Ministry of Tourism, because I want to let them know that I want to have an award called the 767 Representation Award.
All right.
So like people who represent Dominica outside. Your flag to different events and letting people know where we're from. It's huge.
Asa keep doing the project we started talking about, and that's Coach Harris.
Oh, Mr. Cedric Harris.
Says that to you there.
That was a sports coach in school. So Mr. Cedric Harris know about me very well.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
And we have big up to Asa Bantan. Congrats, a big fan. And he has a people's personality, and he's very down to earth. And I'm sure, Asa, there's a lot more out there thinking and feeling the same way about you. As I said, earlier on in the program, we have not played much of the music per se, but we know your music.
Yeah.
We know your music, but we do not know to consider why during the COVID virus and you couldn't go out to perform.
No.
But yet still, whether it be from your pockets, whether it be with the support of your fans, within that time you were still giving.
But they don't understand. Super back it. You know, well, yeah. I decided it stop me from giving. Ways to give back, you know, and I was giving back during the
You couldn't go out to
when you could have no income coming in. When all I see is subtract signs before I something like a pharmacy. Signs, you know. They always say blessings. The more you give, the more you receive. So
yes, and then you gave.
what I did,
And you stayed up for I suspect you may
I'm already booked like crazy right now, but I have to do a couple of things. You have to put in place before I just
agreed. And so you got two Abuyo artists.
Male Buyo and the male artist.
About that. Congratulations.
As I always say, that all the artists in Dominica,
yeah.
And that one is for everybody, for the fans and that put in the ridge, you know, so we have like a guy, you know, X says they people put it in the wood. Signal band anymore, but they like Shelly and Christopher and Stasha put it in the work. Like that guy as well. Everybody. All of them did their
It's a wrap up and her voice in between the two of you. Politics this time?
well, maybe I was saying,
but it would be interesting if she's trying to get somebody else to get you are like politics. The other day, you know, it's never ever I told him, but maybe
that's good.
It's above time to wind down the program. Let me know I'm not spoken, and then we.
I know I'm a person who wants to give back. I love that you do it. You are different. And that you bring on your show is people like for Dominica, educate and really maybe education is vital. I mean, the sports just to those who, you know, great in
effort is going on.
wow. Not the phrase. Which the Dominicans appreciate and show you for information and support. Show support like you give what give the little thing you can give something for the sport. Like
When you make it
something it's like let you do it show and love love.
You make it on the show. So this is
Excited. What I have to get your water things and remember is a whole I was
again first for some people for that so much appreciate. So we see the other issue. What
yes,
because you know we like
I see people checking one
you put together for me.
yeah, man. Thank you, you know, everyone who's supported over those of the industry, and you know, anyone bigger, we is beyond BGD. You know, the entire is a lot of people put in the and Jackson said, "Man, who guys big up crew and big up yourself and people that shit like us to measure yourself who DJ Mal he said you on my Yes.
I hope that so much more that you do back in huge that is huge and I know that those are the everywhere.